Hello everyone, my name is Jeff. I'm president and co-founder of iDreamSky. Interesting presentation for me. So I'm going to talk about the future of Chinese mobile gaming. I think it's quite interesting, and I'll show you some figures first. So first is currently in China there's roughly around 600 million gaming users in China. That's 45% of the national population. As you can see, the penetration rate and the growth of Chinese users in the past couple of years have significantly decreased, but it's still a huge market to address. And like the last presentation said, there's a lot of hyper-casual games and HTML5 games happening in China. So I think in the next couple of years, we're going to see more penetration of gamers in China. In fact, in the previous 6 or 7 presentations that I did in multiple conferences in China, I've been doing presentations for more than 20 years already. And it's a very interesting phenomenon to see that when I start doing my presentation roughly around 10 years ago, I'll be asking the audience, how many of you here play games? And if I ask this question today, I'll be asking the reverse, how many of you doesn't play games? So definitely in China right now, gaming is an embedded lifestyle for a lot of the Chinese population. So the definition of gamers in China have really evolved from someone that play games calling themselves gamers to someone that calls themselves gamers as more of a hardcore gaming audience. So here is some of the focus as one of the biggest publishers in China that publish Subway Surfer, Temple Run, Gardenscape, Homescape, and Temple Run. We can see in this chart, you can see that there's the red part. So the red part are parts that you don't want to touch here in the audience. Do not touch this genre if you're trying to get into the Chinese market. These are the genres that you have absolutely almost zero competitive edge against a Chinese developer. Like, I mean, really zero. Like, I remember like a couple of years ago, Game of War approached me and said, hey, do you want to publish Game of War in China? And I'm like, Chinese made SLGs. Your SLG is like maybe 5 generations behind us. Which is true. So if you look at currently the SLG market in the West, a lot of them are actually dominated by Chinese publishers and Chinese developers. But the other sectors, like sandbox, simulation games, sports games, survival games, these are games that Chinese have absolutely zero understanding of making. The easiest way to look at it is if your game is driven by algorithm, matrix, in-app purchase, these are the games that Chinese are very good at making. If your game is about experience, is about telling story, is about visual, Chinese is really bad at it. So if you have a game like that, and which I believe a lot of you here have, you have a chance in China. So these are the trends that I've been seeing in 2018, and these are some of the latest trends. And in fact, this presentation, I'm not using it for Westerners, I'm using it for Chinese audience. So these are really cutting edge, latest information. So as I just explained, in China right now, there's almost 600 million players. One of the biggest complaints by the government of the gamers in China are they call them nerds. The garage, they stay at home, they never come out from their rooms, and they just keep playing games in their house with their friends through voice, through text. And this is changing in 2018. In China right now, there's a whole ecosystem of offline gaming activities where there is not a PC game room where you see gaming addicts that will play there for 16 hours. These are very social environments where gamer meets up, they play the mobile game together, 5 versus 5. It has created a whole industry. Just now in Guangzhou last week, there's a seminar where the government had estimated 1,200 个亿, so that's like 120 billion renminbi of a market value of offline gaming. So it's a huge market right now. A lot of, we have esports clubs where it's like a shop where people goes there to meet up with their favorite esports player, and they get to play like the mobile game or PUBG with some KOL, internet influencers. There's a whole new industry of hiring esports coach, where in these shops, when you play your favorite PUBG game or when you play MOBA, there will be a staff coming up to you and say, hey, this is my ranking. Do you want to hire me as your coach for like 20 bucks an hour or 20 bucks a game? And I will help you to earn your score, rank up in the ladder, or teach you some tricks of how to play your favorite characters. So it's really becoming offline. And we believe that offline gaming, even on your mobile device or on your PC, is going to be a very big trend and a very big driver going forward. Okay. So you can see these are some of the first is tournaments. So recently we just did the PUBG Asia Invitation in Macau. The online viewership for that right now, I think we haven't do our final count yet, but it's definitely over 30 million just for the Chinese live streaming. On the side here, you can see this is kind of what I'm talking about, esports bar. People go there to play the esports game, to play against friends, or to meet with other players that plays the game that they play. In a weekend, it transformed into an esports bar where it broadcasts like the PUBG tournament, or it broadcasts Clash Royale, or any kinds of esports tournament where people will join up and have drinks and talk about games. The offline environment is becoming very, very vibrant in major cities in China. Okay. And these entertainment hubs are normally not just gaming. They include, other than playing mobile games and PC games, they also have mini movie theaters. So basically Netflix and chill, where young couples, because China is getting very, very crowded, living space is getting more crowded, they're living with their mom and dad, or they're co-sharing their apartment with their friends. They don't have places to really have a dating situation. And kids today, they don't want to go to cinema because they look at the cinema schedule and say, I don't want to watch this movie. I don't want to watch it at this timing. I don't want to watch with people that I don't know. They're so spoiled, right? And there's a lot of places that also incorporate merchandise, incorporate Instagrammers where it's very pink, where girls can take picture in and show on the WeChat moments. Now, the topic that I think no speaker will want to touch on, the ISBN crisis. I don't know, have anyone talked about ISBN crisis yet before?
Not this afternoon. I'm sure we will later, maybe.
Yes. So being one of the leading publishers in China, we can feel the full heat of the ISBN crisis. I think, as you all know already, and I was actually in the conference where the government officials start talking about reopening the ISBN crisis. The situation is now solved, so they are giving out new licenses. But of course, there is still a lot of rumor going around. So a few things that I can give on a factual basis. First, they are not accepting any new application at this moment. All right, they are actually just clearing the backlog that is created in 2018. So all the games that is getting approved right now, most of them are games that have already been in the process and stuck for the whole 2018. The second is the rule is definitely getting a lot stricter, both for the Chinese developer and also for international developers. I think it will be very crucial going forward in 2019 that developers have to find publishers in China on the mobile front. Even if you're looking at the hyper-casual space, even if you're looking at the HTML5 space, it's probably a much better choice to go with a publisher than without a publisher, because the rules is going to get tighter and tighter over time. That's what I believe. However, I think with this change in the market, we're going to see more and more quality coming out from the funnel, where there is two groups that is actually doing the approval. One group is the ethical board, and the other group is actually the government of the government department. The ethical board is looking from a quality standard, from a cultural standard, from a political standard, which they're not absolute yes or no, but they will have certain influence towards your last approval. And having a publisher to work out and iron out the detail will be extremely crucial. So I was there when this guy delivered the Christmas present for all for the whole gaming community, because I think this is like November 20th or 2021, I can't remember exactly. December. So I think right now there's a third batch. A lot of people have been asking us, like, it seems like they're only announcing on a monthly basis. Yes, they are announcing on a monthly basis, but companies are getting notified as soon as they approve the game. It's just that every month they will release a report and say who have been approved officially. But if you, let's say they release the report on the 15th every month, actually people are getting their approval on the 1st, on the 2nd, on the 3rd. They have already made it very clear there will be a limited amount, but they haven't specified how many games will be approved per month or per year. So we are unsure about it. There is certain guidelines already that is being in place, but a lot of them are rumors. So I would say the best way to get your information is from official news outlet instead of Twitter or Sina Weibo. Or the other way around is to talk to your partners in China. The other trend that we're seeing in 2018 is because of the ISBN crisis, we can see a lot more Chinese developers going out of China. This is the first time in China that I see developers where I approach them and they will not give me the same answer, which is, well, I can just focus in the Chinese market, it's big enough, I don't need the global market. If you look at any report, you can see a lot of Chinese games popping up in Japan, popping up in Korea, popping up in US or Europe in various charts. And I believe in 2019 that will be a continuing trend. And one of the key, I would say, one of the key advantage that the Chinese developer understand is how to create a highly monetizable and highly ROI-driven game. So again, if you're working on games like that, be wary of the Chinese force that is coming. So these are some of the guidelines that the Chinese government is also giving to the Chinese market, is they want to see more higher quality games, which is not just driven by matrix or driven by ROIs. So I think this is where international developers have lots of opportunities in China, because Chinese developers actually do not understand how to make these games. In the past 20 years, starting from 2002, you can see that Chinese industry have just been going through different SLGs in the PC days, in web browser days, in mobile days. So actually, not even actually right now, even the giant like Tencent or NetEase is trying to figure how to make games that is about experience. And this comes down to creativities and innovations. Chinese could not catch up just by capital force that they have. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for international developers to work with Chinese developers or bringing their games from the West to the East. If your game really shines on experience. The other thing that the Chinese government is also doing right now, or in general the industry is doing doing age protection in their games. So if you're publishing games in China, when you're looking for a publisher, do look for a publisher that have understanding on how to do age protection. It's not a must right now. The government hasn't said that you have to have age protection in your game, but it's definitely going to be, it definitely put your game in a separate group where the government will be a little bit easier on you. Tencent is doing it. iDreamSky, we're working with Tencent on building the system together with the Shenzhen Police department per se. Shenda is doing it. Lots of manufacturers are doing it. So make sure that if you're launching a game in China, have age protection involved. The esports industry is also blooming quite well in China. In 2018, there's the first time ever we see an esports team actually generating profit just from esports. So we think that the change of League of Legends league rule, instead of a Premier and a Champion League rule, into a more of an NBA style, which is a fixed 16-team style, is going to create a new trend in the esports industry. And if your game have esports centric, then definitely there's a publisher that you want to talk to, which is Tencent. And I think if your game have that competitive nature, do look for a publisher that not only understand monetization in the Chinese market, but also publisher that have high volume of DAU or high volume of internet traffic to help you to uplift your game. That's it. So Q&A.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chair. Do we have some questions? Oh, over by the door already. Thank you.
Hi, so taking into consideration the ISBN problems, what do you think it creates in terms of Asian publishers and European developers? Did it put a stall on new contracts and new collaborations being made, or you're continuing business as usual, knowing that at one point it might be useless?
So it varies from publisher to publisher. So speaking as a publisher in iDreamSky, we have been signing games in 2018, all right? But certain publishers which are smaller scale, they have ceased all of their publishing contracts in 2018. Some publishers also continue to sign games, but they only pay their advance royalty or the license fee when they get the ISBN. Some publishers like iDreamSky, we have been paying we have been honoring our contracts, and we've been paying our license fee or minimum guarantee when we sign the game, and paying according to the payment schedule without considering the ISBN issue. I think in 2019, there will still be a stall. It will be better than 2018. In 2018, almost everyone I talk to, they're like, I don't know why what I'm doing in GDC. I don't know why I'm coming to E3 because my boss is not allowing me to sign any games, right? But in 2019, I think that issue will be eased, but because a lot of the publishers still have backlogs of games, right? Mm-hmm. So they won't be as aggressive as they were, if we compare 2017 or 16. I think it will normalize in 2020, where you will see more publishers more willing to sign games.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Oh, there's a question at the back there.
Thank you. All right. My question is, there's no games yet released or passed through the new licenses from Tencent in any specific game. Do you think there's a reason that there's something political going on there between the government and those two major publishing giants?
The official story is the government is working in order of the game being submitted. All right. So I think NetEase and Tencent's games, there are games that is from Tencent and NetEase. I think on the third batch that was just recently released this month. And yeah, that's the official story right now. The government is not paying more attention to NetEase or Tencent. This is the central government that is working right now. So no publisher in the market do have any sway over the central government. This is the government, this is the department that handles the movie industry. So to a lot of gaming publishers, this is the new department that they have never lobbied with, they have never had any connection with. So it's going to take time for publisher to rebuild the relationship and connection. And that's why I said, probably in 2020, you're going to start seeing publisher having some advantage over that. But before that, I think everyone is on the same starting line. One more question?
Yeah. Any more for
I
Jeff?
think this gentleman here? Oh, no. All right. So, all right, thank you very much. I think that's a wrap up.
Perfect, yeah, absolutely. If anyone
Thank
wants to
you.
catch up with Jeff after, they can find him outside. Thank you very much. That was great.